Hello, welcome to Placement International's YouTube channel. Thank you for connecting with us today. It's me, Margarita. I'm Talent Search and Development Manager here at Placement International, and I would like to introduce one of our great partners. Before we start, please write a comment below mentioning where you're connecting from. Well, today we have an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Macarena's Restaurant, one of America's premier destinations for international hospitality training. Today, we are joined by the visionary leaders who've created an extraordinary opportunity for Spanish hospitality professionals to elevate their careers in the United States. Let's welcome David and Zoltan. David, please introduce yourself.
Well, my name is David Linares. I'm the CEO of Macarena Group, restaurant Spanish chain based in California. Exactly, we have one location right now in Palo Alto, and we're looking to expand the company. And yeah, this is it.
Thank you for your introduction. Zoltan, can you go ahead with sharing more about yourself?
I'm Zoltan Noi. I'm the general manager of Macarena Palo Alto. I was born in Romania from a Hungarian family, and I live most of my life in Barcelona. I speak 5 languages, and I'm more than happy to, share all of this experience with all the people in Macarena, in Palo Alto, and in California.
Thank you both for joining us today. And we can start with talking more about Macarena Restaurant. Could you share the origin story of it? What inspired you to create this project?
Well, I think in the long of my life, I've opened about 18 restaurants, I would say, as of today. This restaurant, Macarena, it's a dream. You open many concepts, many restaurants, and then you have in the back of your head that one day you will open a restaurant just like Macarena. And this is how everything started, to be honest. It was something that it was in the back of my head since the moment I opened the first restaurant. And then this is the result of many experiences, many dreams that I had, and then connecting with the right people, with the team, obviously, that we have, and with the chef especially, that they both come from Spain and they have unique backgrounds. Then this is how we came with the idea of Macarena. Actually, it's as a Spanish, Macarena, it's a dream come true for us.
And I know it was open in Palo Alto. Could you share why did you choose this destination and how you stand out in Palo Alto's restaurant scene?
Yeah, of course. So we chose Palo Alto as our first location. But what can I say about Palo Alto? Right? Palo Alto is unique worldwide. It's a unique spot. Not because we all know that Palo Alto is very famous because of its tech businesses, but also it's because of the multicultural people that live in the city. This city has been created not only for Americans, but from foreign people. And we see this Spanish heritage also all about California, in whole California. And then Palo Alto is just like the cherry on top, I would say. It's a unique environment city where, but not only business people, but also important people. They live here, they come here once a year. Every other day, there's people making huge businesses in Palo Alto. And for us, what's very important because we feel that it was the perfect environment to open our first location. We feel also very strong about bringing the Spanish gastronomy and Spanish culture to this town. And it worked out. It worked out perfectly. So I'm really glad we chose Palo Alto as our first location. I think, following your question, what makes us unique or why we are capable of being strong on the market is because we are close to ourselves. You get to see many different restaurants in the whole United States, and some of them were like, the fusion with other type of cuisines. which is also really good, to be honest. But I think our strength is that we stay traditional, we stay we stay focused, and we stay traditional to our roots. And this is why we call Spanish roots. This is one of the main languages that we use to describe Macarena. But yeah, and I think this is the part of the success. We also bring all the management from Spain, so that stays traditional, authentic to the concept. And then we have stars like Zoltan, who you will know later, but that he brings a lot of knowledge to the scene.
Yes, I know what you mentioned about the team. Actually, before recording, I checked the LinkedIn and I noticed one of my alumni is from the same school as me, also working in marketing as one of the co-founders. And it's amazing how you have this team from Spain creating all what you do in Palo Alto. You mentioned Palo Alto's first location a couple times. Could you share the exciting plans your group is having for the next restaurants?
Yes, absolutely. So the Palo Alto was the first. It's the first location, or was the first location that we chose. But on the plans, we have San Francisco. We have other cities like Boston, Chicago, big cities across the states where we think Spanish gastronomy could have its opportunity, and where we think that tradition will play an important part of the gastronomic scene in many other cities. But also, not leaving the possibility of expanding more in California and other states that I didn't mention. But yes, we are here to have fun, I would say, not to open only one restaurant. And what we have, investors, the whole team that is supporting the idea, they're like great people that care about cultural, about history. And this is what we actually, this is our driver, is to leave, to leave something behind, something that could be remembered, a piece of history. That's really our driver. And in order to do that, you need the right people. You need a great team, because there is no way you can do this alone, right? You need a great team, and you need people who will come in and leave everything they have behind, as we all did, kind of when we came to the state. But what really I wanted to say is like you need people who care about what they do. And this is what we actually are doing as a team. We bring people that they care, people that brings a lot of knowledge, and then we have fun together, because that's the same driver.
I think since you have a lot of Spanish managers there, it would be interesting to share with our viewers how the adaptation was to the American culture. Maybe you could share any stories or examples.
Sure. It's when you come to a new country, actually, at the first month, I guess everything is surprise. Surprise. It's not good and bad. It's just unknown, I would say. So when you come to America, you have everything that you created in your mind, all the memories that you have from movies and things like that. Especially if you come to California, where you have also a holiday and you start seeing. You go to San Francisco and then you start seeing these streets that you maybe seen in many movies along your younger, when you were younger, along your life. That being said, then you start realizing how California is different from the world, I would say. California has a unique environment where people is really advanced. Not only are talking about technology, but also talking about usually the first month is not easy for anyone because it's new. Your country, and then you're changing your traditions. So that is a little bit difficult at the beginning, but after that, it's fully fun, and it's great to see how people are becoming more confident, stronger, and how they leverage the level they have, because they be able to adapt to another kind of cultural solution. And then you get to see the change. It's just crazy. I have many fun stories. A lot of them. I could tell you 101. family stories, but I would say, let me think of one. I would say something that happened to me, for example. That's a funny thing, but I was coming from London when I was here, and as you might know, English in London it's played by the book, right? It's probably where the language comes. So if you're following the dictionary, you have to make the perfect sentences, and then as a Spaniard, you might have some sense of some American English could feel more like Spanglish, I would say, right? And then, but when you're in London, that's not like that. You just go with full British. So I remember the first week that I was here, that I got to the States, I went to a restaurant, I had a reservation, and I just got into the hostess and I said, hey, hello, how are you? I have a booking. I remember she was telling me, like, you have a booking? I'm like, yes, I have a booking. And she's like, what does it mean? And I booked a table at the restaurant. And she was like, you have a book a table at this restaurant? What do you mean? We don't have books here. I'm like, and then someone from behind, you have a reservation. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have a reservation. I understand. So, me as a European as a Spaniard going to London and then coming to America, you could feel the difference. And this is great, to be honest. I mean, I love that because that, at the end of the day, you start learning another type of English too, and you start seeing the differences between one country and another. So, again, so this is one mini example of one funny story, but many more.
No, definitely. I can feel you with the English part. When I came to the US and they called a fridge low boy just because it was below the counter, I was like, who? Which boy? I was really lost, and it took some time. Chef had to speak much slower to me, not because I don't know English, but just because they used a lot of words that were new. Well, thank you for sharing that. I would like to move more about the experience the guests have and the type of clientele you have. Maybe Zoltan could share more on that part.
Of course, what Macarena customers are, of course, from people all around the world. As David just said before, we are very lucky to be in the center of Silicon Valley, in the heart of Silicon Valley, where you can have people from worldwide, from different cultures, and on the same time, people who want one thing: Spanish food, Spanish wine, Spanish tradition. And that's what Macarena offers to these customers, who can be from very important people, CEOs of the biggest companies. And one of the most important thing is people who will join us, all of the J1s, they will be on the first team. They will be on front of them. They will be people who will touch all of these people, right? That's one of the greatest things what Macarena can offer them. But not only the CEOs, who they are very important people, and you will have one of the highest clientele here, you will have people all around the world who have one passion, which is Spanish gastronomy. So the most important thing is to understand about Macarena. We have a great potential of bringing the best people from all the Bay Area to Macarena, right? To Palo Alto, which is the center of the multicultural immersion, where people looking for one thing: Spanish gastronomy, and their passion is to enjoy this. So Macarena has, of course, best clientele from being very important people, from being best CEOs, from being founders of one of the biggest companies, biggest tech companies, which everybody use every day. But on the same time, you can have access to all of these people, right, in a very unique environment. So the important thing for people to understand who Macarena guests are people who love Spanish food, who love Spanish wine, and the environment created by all of the Spaniards, the management, as just David told. And of course, chef where gives you all the ingredients, or most of the Spanish ingredients we can bring here, and all of this put it in their dish, sharing our love and passion for the gastronomy and Spanish heritage, of course, will make like Macarena guests to feel in a very unique environment. And in 1 hour and a half, 2 hours they spend with us, they will somehow can feel a little bit of Spain. Meanwhile, they are, of course, in the heart of Palo Alto.
Thank you so much. And indeed, I feel like the clientele there, what you mentioned, the CEOs, the celebrities, it's very specific to that area. About the J1 program, Usually it's structured with a training plan, and definitely we prepare that all during visa process. However, maybe you can share a few things that they will learn during the program. I see you have an amazing wine selection. So could you please give us some explanation on the program?
Of course, my dear. What we are looking here at Macarena is back of the house, front of the house as well, right? So our positions where the all of J1 people they can share and move between the departments. One of the most important thing, as I told you before previously, when you arrive to Macarena, you will be part of the team which is on the first line, right? If we can compare to football, which everybody I will say they understand, you are on the first 11, right? In this structure, what is very important, you can touch everything and live from the really big roots in the interior of the company, everything what is happens day by day. You will be in constantly supervising and will be with the management team working together from the CEO, from the marketing CFO, or if people love something about financial part, you can have access to all the information. But the most important thing is you will be in constantly with people where you can learn from, as you said, front of the house with our chef, executive chef, but on the same time, front of the house to get the first contact with the guest, to learn about how we approach different customers, different ages. And then it's very important, as you said, operationally, you can have access to one of the best wine lists, and you can have access to all of this on doing it by yourself. So if it's your first job, you're gonna have a lot of fun because you can learn so many things as a first impression in one of the, let's say, biggest cities and most powerful cities worldwide, where you have access to all of the ingredients to make something very unique, as David dream was, right? And all the people behind David who created something so unique, where we can be right now after 6 months top 5 restaurant in Palo Alto, where we put all of our knowledge, all of our dream. But the J1s, they will leave that with us because from the beginning they can create something as we have in our head, and they can be part of this legacy David just told you previously.
I really love listening to both of you because you're so driven and so energetic and passionate about what you're sharing. And I'm sure you can make on that list of top restaurants in Palo Alto. For our J1s, I'm sure they already understand that the culinary concept and the structure of the training, since it's also a cultural exchange. Perhaps you can share a little bit more what they would experience outside of the restaurant in Palo Alto, in California. Is there any activities that you think that would be a highlight for the year in the US?
Absolutely. What you have to think here, Rita, as David told you before, we are surrounded by so many international people, and one of the best cuisines are here in the Bay Area. So if somebody really have in their deep hearts that a passion for gastronomy, for wine, we are 2 hours away from Napa Valley, one of the most powerful wine region worldwide, where they can learn so much about that. We have one of the greatest city next to, which is 40 minutes away, which is San Francisco, internationally beautiful, exciting, spectacular, not because of the bridge only, because of the multicultural immersion, as you just said. You have the best Chinese restaurant, one of the most beautiful Japanese town. You have one of the greatest Indian, Pakistan cuisine chefs, Michelin star, culturally restaurants, where all of this you can have it in your days off. And then if you like, of course, nature, well, you have Yosemite. You can easily drive, to a very beautiful Lake Tahoe. You can have Carmel by the Sea, Santa Cruz. So you have food, you have gastronomy, you have wine, and you have one of the most spectacular, nature scene, which people can relax, they can enjoy, they can connect to the roots and feel something very unique, which I will say, of course, back home, you don't have that, but you want to expand that, right? You want to learn something, you want to get close to something very, very deep and incredible. And of course, as David said before, California is, of course, a very unique land and has one of the most beautiful scenes to see around your days off, to get the energy you need to make then a wonderful job at Macarena in your, J1 experience.
Yeah, I'm sure California is so unique that the whole year you can just spend exploring only California, not even the other states. All the national parks, the Napa Valley, as you mentioned. There are so many restaurants, the Bay. Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely a dream to be there. Um, Maybe one of you could also share more the benefit part that you're offering, the support for J1 program. I think it's also very interesting and really appreciated by all the applicants. So could you share more about that?
Yes. So what we offer an hourly paid plus gratuities and tips. Gratuities and tips in California tend to be anywhere from 18 to 22% of all the revenue we make at the restaurant. So that makes the package very competitive. We're talking about someone can easily be in about 24 to $28 hourly. Um, we also cover 1 week of a stay in California, and then we reimburse the ticket flight. So we really support the candidates. We really want them to get to California to be able to focus on Macarena and forget about the rest. We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna make sure you have your own time to sing, and we're gonna make sure that you feel at home and you feel care, and then you feel protected in a certain way because it's also beneficial for us because you're able to focus on what matters, right? Which is the customer, which is the experience, and Macarena.
Thank you for sharing. And definitely by speaking with you, I can see that family feel that you're creating there. So I'm sure any student who would come will feel taken care of. Perfect. So I believe this is a great explanation about the restaurant and the program. Perhaps David, you first, and then maybe Zoltan could share how your ideal candidate would look like.
Okay. So I would say that the ideal candidate for Macarena is someone passionate, someone that really cares about what they do, someone that breathes passion and knowledge. And the most important thing, to be honest, the most important thing it's to be a great person. And that's what it matters to us. And this is how we build our teams. Obviously, there's many people with a lot of knowledge on the market, or but if you're not a good person, if you're not someone team player, then that really doesn't matter, right? So you can learn so many things, but being a great person, being a great team player, that's really what matters for us. And that's the perfect candidate, to be honest. Someone that we can share moment with that person, someone that we can learn so many things from that person, and someone that could be able to adapt to Macarena and be successful. To be honest, I think that's the best candidate.
Perfect. Zoltan, do you have anything to add for that?
During our workday, we have a lot of stress, of course, because you are, as we told you before, in front of the people who have knowledge, people who have high demandings. So we have to be prepared at Macarena to deal with this high-end executive customer. And we need for people who understand them as well, need to understand our guest needs. We need somebody who, of course, they want to add value to our restaurant, of course, from their knowledge. And on the same time, we need all of these people who they want to learn from each other, right? When we have people joining our team, we want like all the team be better. As before I was telling you about the football, I always give this example because it's very easy for people to understand. Leo Messi became one of the greatest ever because other 10 people work very hard for him to become the number one. So we want something similar, right? We want to be a number one worldwide as a team, not because one person. So we need all the people in the restaurant, in the structure, to make our lives better. So winning the number one, of course, all of us who will win in knowledge, in personal experience, as David just said. So we need people, of course, with passion, but more than that, we need the people to share that. Because if you don't share, you keep it for you. I think for us, is not something relevant. So we need all of these people when they join us from the deep heart to feel, I want to be part of something. So once you really understand that and your desire is to change culture, gastronomy, language, and to show your roots, definitely you will make it from the deep heart easily because finding the job you love, you don't consider that as a work, right? So I get there to my job, meeting amazing people and sharing my journey with them. We need them to feel that way, where you have, of course, pressure, you have hard moments, you have complicated deals, but making them from, your knowledge and sharing what you know is going to feel very proper, very cozy, very lovely. And the people needs, a hug. People needs somebody to approach them. People wants to solve their problem, and we need all of these people who they can help us to solving our guest necessities, and help them understand like we are there for, you know be part of their hospitality, to help them, to take care of them, and to make, once they leave our restaurant, a tiny memory, or make them feel happier than they reached before they came in.
I think collective wins always last longer. The emotions about the win that you achieved as a team, it's definitely long lasting. So I understand what you're talking about. Well, I will finish with the last question, or more an advice. Any tips you would share with applicants or anyone who is trying to build a career in restaurant or hospitality business?
So I would say the power of flexibility of adapting yourself to any situation. That's a key skill to grow in the restaurant scene, especially since many emotions, many different stories in our day to day. So I think being that person, it's and growing that skill, that's really important. It's almost it's a basic, to be honest. And other than that, I would say passion and just do what you like to do. If you do what you like, then you're gonna grow because you're not gonna be considering yourself that you're working hard. It's just enjoying your ride. So that's my advice. I would say enjoy your ride, do what you like, stay passionate, and be flexible, and adapt yourself to many other situations. This is my advice.
I think people, Rita, who join these adventures, right? Finally, they have to have the desire to do it. They have to be people who, of course, they know what they need, what they like, and I think it's very important for them to be ready. Like everything can happen here, very good most of the time, but on the same time you have to be, as David just said, flexible, but on the desire to say, I want to make something big, I want to give a big change. So you have to be ready to share that, right? You have to be ready to receive on the same time all the knowledge, all the experience, because here, of course, what we do is care, we take care, and of course, on the same time, we expand our roots of being a Spaniard, being people who love Spain, who love gastronomy, who love food, because it's the language, common language. Sometimes if you don't understand the guest because maybe you don't speak his or her language, but you speak one thing, which is the gastronomy language. Wineese, no, I always say people who will love wine, we speak the wine language, which is, of course, the passion, the nature, the history, the legacy, to learn from and to them, right? To learn both of the sides. And then if you have all of these together, put it in a shaker and, serve it there, you have the key for the success, we say.
Thank you both for joining us today. It's really great to learn about Macarena Restaurant and all the great plans you have. I'm sure it's an amazing opportunity for all the students watching. I invite everyone who watched the session to apply via Placement International. You can reach us via email or social media. We are glad to receive your resumes and set interviews with David. Thank you for watching, and let's start your career abroad.